there is some built-in forms are there, and you can see what are the forms are here. Authentication form, a form for validating username and password. And user creation form, a model form for creating a new user account. By default, it includes the fields like username, password, and password too, like re-enter password. And user change form, a model form used in the Django admin interface for changing user information. And password change form, a form that allows logged in user to change their password by their entering the old password. Set password form and admin password change forms here. So these are inbuilt forms provided by which one? Django.contribute.authentication. Okay, so let us talk about these forms, because yesterday we created our own form, but instead of creating our own form, you can create or you can use which form? Existing form. What is it? Existing form is user creation form. User creation form is where you try to input username, password, and re-enter password. Authentication form is to verify whether input user details are valid or not. If input user details valid, then what will happen? You will try to create a session. Then we'll see how to create a session. Okay. So django.contribute dot. So here I'm talking about inbuilt forms. So this is built-in forms. This is built-in forms of Django dot contribute dot authentication dot forms module. Okay. So this will provide some forms. And what is the advantage of forms? Validations. What is the advantage of forms? Validations and input. You can input using form. You can validate even using form. So django.contribute.authentication.forms module. So provide lot of inbuilt forms. So Django provide built-in forms classes handle user authentication, creation and password management. So these forms are designed to work seamlessly with Django default authentication system and which model user model. Okay, which model it is? User model. So I'm just taking this. This is from documentation only. I don't require to write this. And there are different forms you have. So the module includes several essential forms like authentication form, user creation form, user change form, and password change form. All these are inbuilt forms. Okay, I just take some of the forms. I'll take authentication form, user creation form. Okay, this two will see it. And if, yeah, we'll also see password change form. But that is only for user, those who are logged in. Okay, so I just take authentication form, and there is one more form which is called as password change form. So these are inbuilt forms provided by authentication module. These are inbuilt forms provided by authentication module. And these are by default, these by default, what will happen? It bind with the models. See here. Authentication form is bind with the models here. A form for validating username and password. Okay, it means is it bind with the model or not? Yes. And it is used by built-in login view. Okay. And user creation form, a model form for creating a new account. And password change form, a form that allows a logged in user to change their password by first entering their old password. We'll try to see this, and even we'll see how to create a session. Suppose once is authenticated, then next what you have to do, you have to create a session. But how you create a session? You create a session by using login. Okay, then you try to close the session by using what? Logout. So there are some functions called login and one more is what? Logout. So these are the views by using which you can perform the operations. Okay, so let me talk about this. Now, if you want to customize this, you can inherit this and then you can change the fields and all other things you can do it. Okay, this is what your customization means. You are trying to add one new field, but instead of it is already having, see, these forms are inbuilt, means it is having already some fields. It is already having some fields, and if you want to add some new fields, you can add it by narrating it, and you try to provide what here? Fields. So this is a code which is already written. So you don't require to write any code. Okay. So let me talk about now how to create a user. User creation will be there. After creating user, what do you do it? You try to input username and password, and that is done by using which form? Authentication form. A form for validating username and password to log a user in. It takes a request as an argument in its constructor and users uses the authentication function to verify which one? Credentials. But you are not doing all this. Okay, and it is used by a built-in login view. It is used by built-in login view. So this view is provided by which module? Authentication module. So let me talk about this. Now, first what we'll do is, now yesterday anyway, we created our own authentication. We created our own, yesterday what we did, we created our own, what do you call it as sign up. This is our own sign up where you try to input name. Okay, there is a username, password, first name, and all these things are done by you. Okay, so this is a built-in form or user-defined form, user-defined form. So this is not built-in form. And after that, you are trying to create a user. After that, you are trying to create a user by reading all the details, and then you are creating user by sending all the details to model manager, right? So where you enter username, password, first name, last name, and all the things. But are you validating anything here? No, you're not validating anything. So the advantage of form is doing some validations. Now doing some validations, advantage of form is doing some valid. Now user creation forms here. User creation form is a model form for creating a new user account. By default, it includes the fields like username, password 1 and password 2. It handles the password hashing correctly when saving the new user object. So here what we can do is it will try to convert the password and it will try to verify is it password what you enter password 1 is equal to what password 2. If both are matches, then it will try to save that you try to save the data. If it is not matches, then it rises what? Error. So all these things are handled by which form? User creation form. Means I don't require to write anything. So you have to populate this user creation form and then you have to check is it this form data is valid or invalid. If the form data is valid, you save it. If the form data is valid, what do you do it? Save it and then redirect to which form? Login. Yeah. Hmm. User creation form. Hmm. No, no, this is no. This is you are trying to use existing authentication system. After creation, it is maintaining session, right? So the session is maintained in the database. By default, it will store in what? Database. Okay. So that is username as well as password, right? But see, you created your, this is only for creation. After creation, it will redirect to login. So where you enter username and password, and then once you enter username and password, you will send that to which form? Authenticate. You populate authentication form and verify is it in input username password is valid or not. So that can be done by using which one? Authenticate. You can use either authenticate method, or you can use name, and that username you store inside what? Session. But how you can store in the session, that is also provided by authentication module. You don't require to write that. So previously you try to write request dot session. Okay. So here you don't require to write. So you can just use inbuilt functions to maintain that. Okay. Na? So this is creation and this is verifying. Authentication form is for verifying is it user name and password is valid or not. That is done by calling which method? Authenticate. You can do it directly using authenticate, or you can populate which form? Authentication form, and you can verify it. You can verify it. Is it that input username password is valid or not? Okay, right? So that is a form for validating username and password to log user in, right? So let me now just see here otherwise. So what I'm trying to use is I'm trying to use inbuilt forms. Okay, now see this is inbuilt form only. Now this is a form where okay you are trying to perform two things. The first one is okay now this is login. So where you try to input where you are trying to input what you are trying to input username, where you are trying to input username and you are trying to input password. So this is for which user? This is for which user? Existing user. Now here you have a what is this login or sign in? Okay, this is a login or what is that? Sign in. Now this is for existing user. Okay. Now here I put one link. Here I put one link. Okay. Now new user what here? Sign up. So this is one link. If I click on this link, then I should sign up and then redirect to which one? Sign in or login. Okay. Sign up and this is sign in will take it. Okay. Anything. New user you have to create there. Okay. Now this I'm taking it as what? Sign in. Okay. Now this is one form, right? And this is which form? Alright, this is which form? Actually, this is which form? Authentication form. Okay, this is what, so this is actually login only. So this form, what it required username and password, but this form is already there. And what is the name of this form? Authentication form. Just now I showed you. So what is the name of the form? Authentication form. Authentication form. See, this is authentication form. So what this authentication form is? Okay, it is trying to see authentication form is an inbuilt form. See here, you are trying to input the data and you are trying to check whether that input data is valid or not. If it is valid, then what you are trying to do? You are trying to you are trying to create a session. What is valid? You try to create what session? You try to create a session when if it is a valid. If it is not valid, okay, if it is not valid, then you redirect to what? Login. If any error is there, it will you try to redirect to what? Login. So that is done by using which form? Authentication form. I think it's not given here somewhere. Authentication form. So what you are trying to do is you are trying to input two things here. Okay, see this is customization of authentication form, but by default, authentication form is trying to verify two things. One is username and one more is a password. Okay, but it is trying to authenticate this by using which one? Authenticate. So there is what here? Authenticate. Authenticate is there. Okay. Yes. Now let us talk about this, how this form will work. Okay, na? Yes. Once you create this, this is authentication. Now, once you send a request, now this request is sent to the view. Let me tell you this. Okay, this request is sent to the view. Now this is views dot. Okay, this is views dot what here? Py. And here there is one view. What is a view is? Suppose this is something like login view. Now this will receive the request, right? This will receive the request. So what request contain username and password? And this you populate within which form? Authentication form, and verify is it that input data is valid or not. If it is valid, okay, then what do you do it? Create a session, create a session, create a session. Okay. If it is invalid, anyway, it will try to render the same template or not. Yes. Okay, this is login view. Now, this is user sign up. Okay, this is user sign up. Login or sign in, both are same here. This is user what here? Sign up. What I'm writing here, sign up view. Now this is sign up view, and this will receive what here? A request. Okay, see, we are trying to use existing authentication system. Now what this is doing, it is trying to use one form. What is that form? What is that form? User creation form. Here I'm using user creation form, and here I'm using, alright, here I'm using with form authentication form. Here I'm using authentication form, and here I'm using user creation form. Okay. So what this user creation form will do, it will create, there is one template, and in this template you are rendering, or in this template you are rendering what? User creation form. What that contain? User name and password 1. It will ask the password 1, and what is that? Password 2. So password 1, password 2. Now, is it this is inbuilt form or not? Yes. If you want to add it, if you want to add more fields, what do you do it? If you want to add more fields, then you try to inherit user creation form and add more fields. Inheritance. Inheritance allows what? Extensibility and reusability. Now here you have a create. Once you click on create, so what will happen? So what will happen? This request is sent to again sign up. So request method is get as well as what? Post. Okay, then it will populate this user creation form, and you will verify is it input data is valid or not. If it is valid, you save it. If it is valid, what do you do it? Save it. If it is invalid, what will happen? Or if it is invalid, you render into the same template or not? Yes. So error form. That is which form? Error form. No, no, only password 1 will be stored. This is only to verify. This is only to verify. Only one password will be stored in the database. So already, now see here, already they go. Yesterday we created, right? So what is the name of the database? So this is our database, right? In this, now what is the name of the model is user. So if you see this user, okay, this is inbuilt model or not? Yes. Authentication underscore what? User. What is there in this? ID, password, last login, is super user, username, first name, last name, email, is staff, is active, day join. So where all these details are stored in which model? User model. Means you don't require to build any authentication system. You're trying to use what? Are you building any authentication system or using existing? Using existing provided by You are using existing provided by which one? Django. Provided by Django. Okay, you are not using any new. You are not using a new authentication system. You are using existing. Form is provided, view is provided. Okay, session creation, logic, everything is provided. What do you have to do? Use it. Just use in your application. That is the advantage of this inbuilt. That is what I said, inbuilt. All these are inbuilt. Getting or not? See, I'm not creating any form. See, in this, are you created any form or any law, any model are you created? See, is it any model is there? No. You just created one view for creating which one? User. You just created one view. What is that name here? Sign up. But you write a logic. Now, even you don't require to write this logic. You are making more customized, right? So by using, let me see this. But this one you understood. What we are talking about, what we are talking about forms. What we are talking about forms. Why we are using form? To input data, to validate data. But are you using your own form or predefined forms? Predefined forms provided by which module? Authentication module. Understood? Okay. Just see here. You're not creating your own. Now I'm building this. So here you have two things. One is sign in and one more is what? Sign out. Two things are there. Sign in is there and one more is a sign out is there. And even we'll see how to sign out. Okay. So just observe here. We are not customizing anything. Later I'll tell you how to customize the things. But now I'm not customizing anything. So create a project here. So create a project. Okay. Yes.
List of project in that.
See here. Okay, here I'm writing from Django dot. So there is a contribute dot authentication dot forms. Now first I'm using user creation form. See here. What is the form I imported? User creation form. User creation form. What is the name of the form? User creation form. Understood? Right? User creation form. And this is for creating user. Creating user is nothing but sign up. Creating user is nothing but sign up. Okay, create. Okay, I'll write name is create user or sign up. Okay, this is which view? Sign up view. Now this will receive the request. Tell me what request contain? Input data or not? Username and password. Okay, not password 2. Password 2 also will be there and that you populate it and verify. Is it password 1 match with what? password to and all the things. Okay. Now this will handle both the request, get request as well as what? Post request. If it is a get request, then it should create one empty form. If it is a post request, then it should populate the data and verify is it that username password is valid or invalid. If it is valid, then it should create a session. If it is in no no, this is sign up, right? If it is valid, you need to redirect to what? Login. Okay, you redirect to what? Login. Okay, if it is created successfully. If it is created successfully, you should redirect to login. Okay, now see here. What you are trying to do if request dot what is the request method is post. Request dot method, if the request dot method equal to what here? Post. If the request method is a post, what do you do it? Create one form. Okay. So create form. Now what is this form is? User form equal to user creation form. User creation form, I'm writing a request dot what? Post. It means you populate the data or not? Yes. Then after that you are verifying is it this data is valid or not by using is what? Valid. User form dot is valid. If it is valid, what you are saying? User form dot save. User form dot save. Now where this data gets saved in? Model. Which model? It will save this data into one model, right? What is the model is? Authenticate user. User model. It is saved into which model? User model. When? If this data is valid. Then after saving, what do you have to do? You have to redirect to which one? Login. You have to redirect to login view. Now login view where you enter username and password. Correct or not? So here I am saying response. Okay, response. Okay, response equal to redirect. Okay, response equal to what here? Redirect. Redirect, right? Redirect to which view? Login view. That's all. Login. Redirect to login. And then return. What you should return? A response. When? If the username is what? Valid. If the username is invalid, what will happen? Your form is created with some error or not? Yes. Your form is created with some error. Correct or not? Okay, so that is if the request method is a post, it is doing like this. Okay, otherwise, what you have to do? You have to render the form or not? Yes. Now here you can write one condition, see or none. What I'm writing here, request dot post or none. So what is the meaning of this or? Or means either this or this. If the first is true, then it will verify second. No. Suppose if the post request dot post is having any data, if the request dot post is having any data, then what will happen? It will populate this user creation form with what? Data. Suppose if the request dot post doesn't have any data, then what is the values it is? None. Means that is empty form. But actually this you have to put in the beginning, right? Okay. So other because it is trying to handle how many requests here? Two requests. One is a get request and one more is a post request. Now you create one empty form here otherwise. What is this form is? User form equal to user creation form. Now this is which form? Empty form. Empty form I created. So this is an empty form which I created and then I'm saying response. So here I'm saying render. What is this? Request comma some login dot HTML and there is a context. What is the name of this is? User. This is login, huh? Sign up. This is sign up. User form. And this is user form and return. What you written here? Response. So try to understand this now. See what we are trying to do. We are trying to use which form? We are trying to use which form? User creation form. Then first we created which form? Empty form. But if the request method is a post, you populate user creation form with post data. And if the data is valid, you are saving it and you are redirecting to which one? Login. You are saving it and you are redirecting to the login and returning what? Response. But if any error is there, then it will try to render the form with errors or not. Yes. So that is sign up dot HTML and return. What do you return here? Response. Okay, right? And then next is, now we need to create a sign up dot HTML. So come to here templates, and in the templates, you are trying to create a template. What is the name of this is? Sign up dot what? HTML, sign up dot HTML. And here you have to render form, some method equal to what here? Post. And what is the form you are inserting? User, user form dot as a paragraph. You are inserting as what? Paragraph. As P, as table, as an ordered list. As a paragraph. Then I'm saying input type equal to which one? Submit. Then value equal to create. Value equal to create. Okay. So that's all. This is form, but you are inserting this form as what here? Paragraph. So input type is a submit and value is what here? Create. Clear, right? But you are trying to add this link. If you want, you can directly call this. Okay. Now, but we don't have which view, which one is not there? Login. Okay. We don't have a login, right? So login view is not there. Login. This is what here? Login view. You are redirecting to which view? Login view. When if the user once it is registered what? Successfully. Okay, then next time using another form, see here. From Django dot contribute, from Django dot contribute dot authentication dot forms import. What is the form is? Authentication form. What is the authentication form role is? Verifying input username and password. Is it valid or not? Is it user is exist or not? That is done by whom? Authentication form. See, yesterday's code and today's code. Yesterday's code, in yesterday's code, what we did? We write our own logic. We read the data from request like username, password, first name, last name, and then we created user. How we created user? Create user and we send all the data. But are you doing any validations? No. But what is the advantage of form is input and doing some validation. So it is providing predefined form for creation. It is providing predefined form for what? Authentication, authenticate. So verifying is it that username password is valid or not, right? So now this is authentication form. So this is nothing but sign in, right? So sign in or what is that? Login. Okay, this is, I'll just write here login view. This will take the request. This will take the request. And what this request is, it will try to handle two requests. One is get request and one more is post. Now, for example, I create, what is the name of this is authentication form, or I'll just write a form equal to authentication, form equal to which form? Authentication form. But is it this authentication form is empty or not? Yes. But if request dot method equal to what? Post. If the request dot method equal to post, what do you need to do? You are trying to say form equal to authentication form with this post data. I'm saying here request dot what is this? Post. Means you populate this input data into which form? Authentication form. And if form dot is what here? Valid. If it is valid, what do you have to do? You have to create a session. What do you have to do? You have to create a session. You have to create a session. If it is valid, what do you have to do? You have to create a session. You have to store this user details into what?
어차피
Session.
접어붙여야지 그래? 응?
You have to store this user details into what? Session.
응.
Now there is one function called login. There is one function called which one? Login. Authentication dot what is this? Session. Authentication model. There login. So there is a login and there is what here? Logout. So here you are trying to call the function called which one? Login. And to this login you are sending whose details? Request comma. You are sending whose details? User details. You are sending which details? User details. See here, user details. But this form, see, you are saying authentication form request dot post. Now it returns some object or not? Yes, actually this is not a, you are creating a form object, but what it returns once the data which is there in the form is valid. If it is valid, what it is returning? User details, you should read it, right? What I'm saying here is form dot get get user form dot get user. Now this will return whose details? User details. And this user details you are storing into what? Session. This user details you are storing into what? Session. You are storing this user details into what? Session. Getting or not? So what you are doing? Are you getting? So request dot method equal to post. You are trying to read input username and password, and then you are checking it. Authentication means what? Checking. Is it this username password is valid or not? If the username and password is valid, you create a session. You create a session. After creating a session, okay, you will redirect to a dashboard of that user. You redirect to a dashboard of that user. That user, suppose I'm writing here response. Okay, response equal to redirect to what is this here? Some dashboard. Okay, dashboard. I'm trying to redirect to which one? Dashboard of which user? That user. Okay, dashboard view. Okay, or home or dashboard view, right? Then return. What it written here? Response. Understood up to this? What we have done? Login. What login is doing? Here, what login function is doing? This login function, what it is doing it? Login function is receiving the request and whose details? User details. And creating what? Session. It is creating session for this user. And then redirect which view? Dashboard view. Okay, dashboard of which user? Authenticated user. Dashboard of which user? Authenticated user, and then return the response. Otherwise, it will create empty form or not? Yes, or form with the errors. It will generate form with what here? Errors. So here I'll say response equal to render request comma. What is the name of this is? Login dot html. Login dot html comma. Now here I'm defining the context. What is the context is a form, and this is again Form and form. Okay. Then return. What you written here? Response. Hmm, What you written here? Response. See here. You understood code here? Okay. So this is sign up and this is sign in. Login means sign in. Creating new user and this is authenticating user. And if the user is authenticated, then it will come to which view? What is the name of this is? Dashboard. Dashboard view. Okay, dashboard view. And this will render, or this will render what? Dashboard of that user. Now you are sending a request along with what details? Or you are sending a request, sorry. The request is having user details or not? Yes. Then you read that user details. Request dot user. Right? So request dot session dot request dot session. Request dot session. Whose details you are reading? User details. Okay. Then here I'll try to display a message, only message. So I'm saying response. If you want, you can build a dashboard, but I just take from Django dot HTTP response. So here I'm trying to display the message. What is the message is welcome. So here I said return what here? Response. Getting on it. But where this session details are in session. If you want, you can get the details from session. Request dot. You want to know request dot session dot. Session is a dictionary or not? Yes. Session is a dictionary and I'm just writing get, sorry, items. This is which view? Items view. If you want, you can see that details. Okay. So return the response. Then next is what we have to do. We have to create two, three, how many? Dashboard view. This will generate a response. Now we have to create two HTMLs. One is sign up and one more is, yeah, already we have created sign up. Now we have to create a login. So this is login dot HTML. So this is login dot HTML. Now here I'm writing form. See here. So this is a form method equal to post. Form method equal to post. Online students, what happened? Chat is disabled. Online students. Online. किधर है? 100 लोग है, किधर गए? More than 100 students are there. Where are you? Online. There. सो गए नहीं तो. Today Friday. Good morning. वीकेंड में थोड़ा लेजी हो जाते. हाँ, वीकेंड. You are working employees. No, no. You are working employees. सुबह से शाम तक क्या करते हैं यार आप लोग? What do you do from morning to evening? Morning this class, then 9 o'clock placement class. That's all. बाद में पढ़ते. पढ़ना नहीं. I mean at the same time you have to update. Update means, yeah, you have to practice. Group chat is disabled. Just now it disabled because what you people are doing, I don't know, right? सोते मालूम है मेरे नहीं सोते नहीं सोता नो प्रॉब्लम okay anyway here you have to insert the form insert the form so form as what here paragraph form as a paragraph and here input input type is a submit and value is login so this is login and here I'm creating one anchor tag so here I'm sending a request to what here sign up okay this is a sign up okay new user sign up Chandan are you there Chandan
అది కలిసిన କାଲି ଇଗ୍ନୋର ଛାଡିବ ବୋଲି ପଳେଇ ଆସିବ
okay
ସେ ଆଉ ଭଲସେ ନିଦ ନାହିଁ
so everyone can chart now I've given everyone okay now this is new user sign up new user sign up when you click on this it will send a request to which view sign up view now we need to create a urls create a urls go to urls.py so here you try to from application one dot views import there is some view sign up view so sign up view login view and dashboard view so but actually what is the names we are using login view we have to use slasher login view dashboard view and where is the sign up okay just to use here path what is the name of this is sign up and this is called as a sign up view and I give the name and what is the name is sign up so path so what is the next one is login view so you are trying to send to a login view I'm trying to give a name also login view then path dashboard view dashboard or dashboard view okay because dashboard view so here I'm giving a name and what is the name is dashboard view that's all right go to the settings settings.py now define here now install the application one Install the application one and template path you define and define the database. Let it be SQLite. SQLite. So this is the entry point. See, every application required authentication. Without authentication and authorization, you don't use anything. Without authentication and authorization, nothing is accessible, right? Is it anything is accessible without authentication and authorization? No. So create a database. Now project 30 DB. So I create a separate database for every project I'm creating this. This is name of the database and give the user. See, yesterday somebody said migration problem. Migration. Migration is done yesterday. Somebody said not migrating. Yes. Okay, right? Yeah, database is done. Anything? CSRF tokens. So here, so this is whenever you send a request by using which method? Post. Now first you do migration. So we are not using any models. So here I'm saying make migrations. Make migrations not required because we are not build any model and you have to build migrations for existing applications. For that we say migrate. Now we are using existing application, right? What is that application? Authentication. Okay. If you want, you can use that application directly. If you want, you can use that application what here directly. Okay, na? I'll tell you that how to use that application directly. So that application you can use it using one interface called admin. Using one interface called which one? Admin. I'll tell you how to integrate that admin interface in your application. Okay. But here we are trying to use all built-in forms, right? But already there is some templates and forms. Everything is provided by which module? Authentication module. If you want, you can use that also. But now we are trying to use only forms. That is how you customize it. Then run this. But what is our entry point? Which one is entry point? Login. Login, right? So in urls.py, what is the entry point is login. Login view. So now you have to send a request to the view. What is the name of that view is login view. This is a login view where you input username, password and login. But is it any user is exists? No. Then new user here. New user sign up. See here. Now this is form you created or already exists. Exists. This form is already exists. We are just using it. Enter the username. Okay, username is given. Passwords here. Your password cannot be similar to your other personal info like that is given. Contain at least 8 characters. Cannot be commonly used password. Password cannot be entirely what? Numeric. So password must contain at least 8 characters. 8 characters. 8 characters means includes digits also. Okay. So I try to give like this. देखो यार ये password है. Copy the same thing. This is confirmation password. Same, huh? Yes. Then what do you do it? Create. Yeah, you can customize it using CSS. Create. Once you say create now, user is created or not? Yes. So once on successful creation, it is redirect to which form? Login. Now user is created, right? You want to see that? Go to where database. Use which one? Project 30 DB. CSS and all the things you have to do it. Okay, अब फिर CSS वो पूरा बोलो तो it will take lot of time. Okay, वो पूरा आप रूम में खाली रहते हैं ना, खाली रहते कुछ कर दे. Develop some projects here. Develop some applications. छोटा मोटा. You don't think big. Develop simple applications. बहुत सारे आप daily you'll see so many websites. You should start thinking. Why not develop this kind of project? मेरे को ऐसा प्रोजेक्ट बनाना, अमेजोन जैसा बनाना, नेटफ्लिक्स जैसा बनाना, हाँ, फ्लिपकार्ट जैसा डेवलप करना. यस सर नो. हाउ कैन आई डेवलप सच काइंड ऑफ एप्लीकेशंस? वैसे थिंक करना. खाली बैठे तो कुछ नहीं आता यार. हाँ, करना. करे तो अच्छा है, नहीं करे तो भी अच्छा ही है. ओके. सो नाउ सेलेक्ट स्टार फ्रॉम authentication underscore user. One user details are stored or not? Yes. Okay, this user details are already stored. Now we'll try to log in. अभी password क्या है यार? ABCD 1234 @ dollar hash. कॉपी करें ना अपन. हाँ, अच्छा हुआ. @ $. हाँ, ये पूरा याद रहता है मगर क्वेश्चन नहीं याद रहता. हाँ, login, login, huh? But what happened? Huh? Login view, it is send or not send? Login view, sign up. Then it is redirect to login view, return the response. Now the request is come to login view. If the request dot method, but यहाँ पे नया है ना, login view, we created one empty form and form dot is valid, request comma user, redirect to which view? Dashboard view, return response. But this is not coming to this place. Login view. Login view. What happened here? What is the value it is returning? None. यहाँ पे नहीं आ रहा नहीं आ रहा. Okay, request comma post will debug it. So where is the error is? Okay, input username. Yeah, it's coming here. So username is there and password. Then after that, so so authentication form dot is valid. Oh, so what happened is this user details we have to read it if the data is what valid. If the data is valid, you read the user and it should come to which view? Dashboard. Dashboard, why it is not coming it here? So if it is valid, you are trying to get whose details? User details. Now you'll get it here. We'll just check this. Response equal to redirect dashboard view. So it should generate a response like this. Come to this again. Dashboard is coming. We'll see this. Dashboard is coming. Oh, a carrier A B C D 1234 at the rate dollar. Data is read request dot method equal to post form dot is valid. If it is valid, you are trying to get the user details. Then you create a so somewhere login request and user response is redirect. So somewhere some mistake is there here. Form dot is valid. Form dot is valid. We'll just print here also request dot. So is it entering this if condition? So login, yeah. So it is returning as a query dictionary. Yeah. But this method is what? Request method is post only, right? So after that, what it is doing, it is creating session. I printed user. Form dot is valid. So we'll just check, is it this data is valid or not? Okay, right? No problem. But we are just, so log in. So now data is not valid. Means it said what here? False. What it is written here? Form. Form dot is valid is what? False. Means this username and password is not valid. We'll create another user. Huh? It's saying this username password is not valid. So let us create another user and verify it. Okay, new user sign up. Okay, name. We'll give another name. Not required. So I just create user is created now. TK here. Okay. Then click on what here? Login. So it is moved into login view. But this form data is not correct. It's saying it is what? Form dot is valid is returning what? False. It is returning false means this username and password is not correct. Why it is not correct?
तुझी आवाज येतो.
But anyway, now this is how you write the procedure. I'll just check this. But this here, if the request method is a post, it will come to this and it will check, is it form a request dot post, and now you are trying to check, is it this data is valid or not? If the data is valid, what you are trying to do, you are trying to get whose details? User details, and then you are trying to create a session by using which function? Login. So request comma user response equal to redirect dashboard view and then return the response. Okay, then response is some login.html, because here this condition has become what here? False. Because of this condition is false, okay, then it is giving again which view? Login with some form, with the form, right? But actually, why it is returning false? Because username password is correct or wrong? Correct only.
ମା ମତେ ହେଲେ ଭଲସେ ନିଦ ହେଇନି
Authentication
ବା.
form.
ଇଏ
Okay,
ଆଇଲାଠି
I'll
ଦୁଇ
just check
ଘଣ୍ଟା ଯାଏ
this.
ନିଦ ହେଲାନି
Okay, I'll
ମତେ.
just copy this code and let us see more
ମୁଣ୍ଡ
on
ଫୁଣ୍ଡ
this.
କାଟୁଛି
Like
ମୋର ଏବେ ଥରେ
this
ସାର୍.
is a login. What login is doing? It is trying to
ଛାଡ଼
create
ଏ
a
ଯୋଉ କବାଟ
session
ବି ଦିଆ
and
ହେଇନି
then it
ଧଡ଼
will
ଧଡ଼ କରିବା
redirect to which
ଆଉଛି.
view? Dashboard view. So there are
ପାଗଳ ହେଲା
two
ସେମାନେ.
predefined methods. One is login and one more is what? Logout. One is login and one more is a logout.
ସାଉଣ୍ଡ
Now,
ଏବେ
if you want to provide more
ମରୁଛି.
security, then you can use, for example, before, suppose one person is log out, then still is trying to access the dashboard, you can restrict it by using login required. You can use one decorator called which one? Login required. Means whenever you want to access the dashboard, compulsory it is required what?
ଶବ୍ଦ
Login.
ପାଉଛି.
That we'll
ମୁଁ ନ
discuss,
ଘୋଡେଇଲେ ଥଣ୍ଡା
not today,
ଧରୁଛି
but we'll
ଘୋଡେଇଲେ
discuss tomorrow.
ଗରମ
But this
ଧରୁଛି.
logic you understood?
ଏମିତି ହେଲା.
Bolo yaar, you understood these forms. I want what I want is you should understand. See, the procedure what we are doing is correct only, but somewhere I've done some simple mistake. Might be where it is. I'll just check. So authentication form, it is only for checking username and password. It is only for checking username and password. It will take the request as an argument in a constructor and uses authenticate function to verify which one credentials. It is used by built-in which view login view. But are you creating any login view? No. We created our own login view by rendering which form? Authentication form. If you want, you can use even built-in which view login view. But that I'll tell you later, because if you understand this, the functionality of login view you can understand easily, right? So authentication form is used by login view, but this login view you created. But instead of creating you create login view, you can use what? Existing. You can also use which view? Existing login view, which contain all this logic. It is having all this what? Logic. This logic already there in which view? Login view. Maybe somewhere I'm doing a simple mistake, but I'll just verify that. I'll verify that. Let me explain tomorrow, right? So today I'll stop here and tomorrow we'll continue this, right? Yesterday notes uploaded, right? No, notes uploaded. Yes. No, yes. Today I'll upload yesterday's notes and today's notes, right? So tomorrow we'll see more on this authentication and what? Authorization. Today we'll stop it here and tomorrow we'll continue this, right? Thank you. Right.